Hey KH, how's it going?
Hey baby.
Hey, thanks for coming back. We're going to talk today about the food noise that I get. Sometimes I get the munchies and stuff between meals, but really what we want to talk about today, and you promised them last week you were going to do, was take pictures of every single meal that I ate. Did you do that?
Yes, I did. Well, I missed one meal, but...
Are you sure it's only one?
I believe so. It's
okay.
a meatloaf.
So you got pictures of every single meal that I ate this last week?
Yes.
Okay.
So his typical breakfast are scrambled eggs with Swiss cheese. Just one slice of Swiss...
Before we get started with that, this is for the new folks that watch, and I've been told repeatedly that I need to do this, right? First of all, I wanted to say it's been 10 months since we started this vlog. Can you believe that? 10 months already.
And you're at 1,000 and I'm only at 490, but I don't do one every week, y'all.
On your channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of your channel, the reason that we're late this week for this weekly update is because we've been getting ready to go out on our next RV adventure.
Yay!
Which will be shown on your channel, as always. We show all of our RV stuff over on your channel. Hanging with KH, links in the description. Go check it out if you like it. Subscribe and follow around with us and tell us what we're doing wrong and laugh at us as we mess stuff up. Anyway, it's been 10 months since this vlog got started. Can you believe it?
That's it. No.
1,000 subscribers now.
Yeah.
And the very first photo that I posted on my community thing was a joke about diabetes. And I got a hate comment for that. It was my first comment.
Oh, gosh.
I was like, oh boy, this is going to go well.
Yeah.
But 10 months later, right, I started off taking the Mounjaro, and I've lost weight all the way down from about 240, 250 pounds, just to give the conspiracy, because we're going to do the weigh-in right off the bat, and then we're going to get into what I eat and all that BS, right?
Okay.
So I started out 240, 250, and lost weight down to about 180, 190, plateaued. And then found out that I had diabetes. And my doctor said, you're kind of fat anyway, Ben, and you got diabetes. So I'm going to put you on this stuff called Mounjaro. And I'm going to put you on this stuff, and it's going to also help you lose weight, but control your blood sugar as well. And it really did, right? It worked so well on me. I went from 180, 190 pounds all the way down to 147 within about 4 months.
And he lost so much of his A1C too quickly that my thumbs hurt.
What she means by that is my A1C dropped so fast that I came down with this thing that my neurologist thinks is treatment-induced neuropathy of diabetes. And it's caused by dropping your blood sugar so fast for so long, or your A1C, because that's measured over months rather than over days, right? Your blood sugar is a daily reading or an hourly reading, whereas your A1C is like taking over a 3-month period. I started out at 10.4 and A1C, and I got it down to 5.4 on Mounjaro. I went from 180, 190 to 147 in my weight. Last week's weight, it was, yes, very awesome. It worked really well on me. Last week's weight was 155.8. We're going to weigh right now, and while we'll do it, I'm going to tell you that my glucose last week was 133, right? And my doctor said if it gets 140 or greater for more than two weeks, call and let me know and we'll get you back on a diabetes drug. Last week it was 133, this week 129.
Yay!
Yep.
That's so cool.
Another week, the diet, and now...
You need to remember to take your strips and stuff.
Yes, well, I will remember to take them this time. But another example of how my diet and my exercise and the fact that I've lost all this weight and I'm keeping it off is keeping me healthy, right?
And you know, I got to tell you something funny about Chuck. He gets up this morning and he thinks it's walking time. But today is Thursday, so he was very disappointed.
We're going to talk about Chuck in a minute.
Okay.
But I just wanted to finish the weigh-in part because a lot of people just watch to get the weigh-in part out of the way. So without further adulation, let's get to the weigh-in portion, shall we? And then we can get to the BS portion.
Okay.
All right, here we go. We got some guest visitors in the weigh area today. Gidget and Chuck. All right, here we go. We'll tap it. We'll put some pressure on it. There we go. We got to zero it out, I guess, and then I stand on it. And we're hoping for something between 155 and 160.
Yay! Yay!
156.2.
That's awesome. You want to see how much I weigh? With my clothes on? Without my clothes on, I weighed 134.2.
Well, I think that hold on, before we do this, let's do it without your clothes on. I'll edit this out.
I know.
Okay. All right. Look out, Chuck. All right. Let's do you. I like your toenails, by the way.
Thank you.
136 even is what it says.
Well, that means my clothes, everything I've got on is 2 pounds. I know, he says don't cheat, but that's me. I have to weigh. I started out weighing naked, so that's my thing.
Yep.
And I'm not getting naked for y'all, so sorry.
So that's the weight and the blood sugar done for the week. Good stuff for me, right? And before you get into your thing, I just wanted to mention one comment that I responded to this morning actually. Greg Nissen, 3950, just started the injection 4 days ago on the 2.5 dose. That's the introductory dose. You start on the 2.5 for at least a month.
Yeah.
My recommendation to you, sir, is stay on that 2.5 dose for as long as you possibly can, right? Don't move it up too quickly. Don't be in a hurry, right? Some doctors will say, well, you're supposed to be on this for 4 weeks and then 8 weeks. There's plenty of evidence and discussion about this out on the internet. You can go look for yourself and make your own decision, but don't be in a hurry to move up too quickly. If it's working for you at lower doses, just stay on those lower doses until it doesn't start working for you or continue to work for you. That's when you have the discussion to up it, right?
Yes.
So anyway, sorry if I'm giving you unsolicited advice or advice you already knew about. Okay. I was just kind of wondering what his starting weight would be and what his starting A1C would be. That way, when he gives us the update, we can be amazed. Or I guess he can give us the update and say, hey, this is how much I've done over the last month.
Yes.
In both events.
Yeah.
Either instance, please give us an update.
Sure.
All right, so let's talk about the food that I've been eating this last week.
Okay,
You want to run through the menu and I'll show
Sure.
some pictures.
Scrambled eggs with Swiss cheese, just 1 slice of Swiss cheese. I gave him 3 very thin slices of Spam because we both love Spam.
That is like a treat though. So like it's not a typical breakfast.
No,
once a week maybe.
Yeah, once a week. The rest of the week he had scrambled eggs with just Swiss cheese and that's it.
I had bacon one day.
Oh yeah, you did have bacon one day.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I get this really good homemade rye bread from Sprouts. And so I toasted a little bit, put some olive oil butter on it. So the next thing we did was chicken wings and with celery and carrots and ranch dressing. And then we had, for lunch, he had ham, turkey, and Swiss on rye with a little bit of mayonnaise on both slices. Then one night we had black bean and quinoa enchilada bake. It's all vegetables and it's so delicious.
Yeah, you don't need Metamucil if you're eating that.
I try to get a lot of...
that stuff cleaned me out pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to get into any sort of details, so please continue.
Okay, so the next day I still had some of the black bean and quinoa enchilada bake. So what I did was I made some fried eggs and I put it over my enchilada bake and had a really good Mexican breakfast. So Ben, on the other hand, only had scrambled eggs with Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
He's a very simple eater, y'all. And then one night I made a salad. I put a lot of different things in my salad, like broccoli, lettuce, carrots, celery, tomatoes, apples.
So good.
I use cranberry, the cranberries.
Yeah.
Dried cranberries, I throw those in there. And
we need to get one of those vacuum packers that we can put in the refrigerator and make that last more than 2 days.
Yeah, we do.
Because we can make
delicious.
a huge bowl of that. I could eat that 3 days in a row for lunch.
Yeah. The hard thing is that once you cut the lettuce or tear it, it doesn't stay.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Moving on.
Okay, and then I added grilled chicken, which I cooked on my Ninja Foodie grill.
Yeah.
And then another breakfast that we had was we had a little bit of corned beef hash.
Oh, so good.
Now, Ben used to eat a whole can by himself. So now
on about 5 or 6 pieces of white bread. I would I would cook the corned beef hash up, and then I would take white bread by the slice and put it in the slice and eat it like a sandwich, like a breakfast burrito on enriched white bread
with
Tabasco sauce.
Tabasco, that's it.
And I wondered why I weighed 250 pounds.
So I gave him a small amount of corned beef hash. We had fried eggs. I made frozen hash browns. You know, the frozen hash browns, I made those up. Yeah. And then we had English muffins.
Yes. Not all the best stuff in the world for me.
But it was
in moderation, right? Yeah. In moderation, and not every day.
And then
not every day.
One day for lunch, we had a grilled ham, turkey, and Swiss on rye sandwich. Good. And then
she grills the sandwich on a cast iron skillet. And it just browns it on the outside, but it melts it on the inside and makes it just warm and so delicious. Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
Okay, for dinner, we also had provolone prosciutto stuffed chicken with balsamic sauce.
That was really good, too. I really enjoyed that.
And I had a Japanese sweet potato, which are purple potatoes, and he had a regular baked potato with a little bit of sour cream. Lots of butter and salt and pepper and garlic powder.
Yeah.
Okay, so then one morning we had ham, eggs, and Swiss on English muffin with fried potatoes.
That was delicious. Mm-hmm. Right? I used to love those McDonald's sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffins. Mm-hmm. I used to love those. And the last time I had one was months and months ago, but it tasted like cardboard. It tasted terrible. But that thing that you made, delicious.
The fried potatoes I had
really good.
Leftover baked potatoes, so I just chopped those up, added onions, and threw them in the skillet.
It was delicious.
We had night before last, we had crockpot red wine pork roast with mashed potatoes, and it made a red wine gravy that was super delicious.
It was very good.
And then last night we had pasta fazool.
Fazooli.
As the New Yorkers call it.
Is it fazool or is it fazooli? It's spelled fazooli though, right?
It is. Fagioli. That's how.
Pasta fagioli.
But according to when you look it up, it says New Yorkers say fazool.
New Yorkers aren't Italians. They're of Italian descent. Some of them.
And then, so the pasta fagioli, it can freeze. So I put half of it in the freezer so we have another meal.
Are we taking that with us on the RV trip this coming weekend?
No, I'm making one more meal tonight, and that's taco dump soup. That's what we're taking.
Taco dump soup?
Yeah. You dump everything in a pan, and it's an amazing meal.
Okay. Well,
if anyone wants recipes, just comment below and I will make sure you get them.
I'll give it a shot. So I wanted to mention before I forget that the next update for me, for my next weigh-in, we have to remember to take the scale, by the way, this time, because we're not going with our friends this time. We need to take the scale, but my next update will be while we're on the road, Sand Hollow, Utah.
Yay!
So we're going to take the scale and I'll give you the update as soon as I can. Hopefully it'll be around Wednesday instead of Thursday. We were supposed to do it yesterday, but a certain somebody was too busy to do the vlog. I won't mention any names because I don't want to get any ex-redheads who are now gray heads in trouble.
It's a little baby called Jax had my attention pretty much all day yesterday.
So you talked about all the foods that I've eaten this week and all the foods that you've eaten this weekend. And have you lost any weight this week or stayed about the same?
No, remember last week I weighed 137. This week I weigh 134.
130. So you've lost 2 pounds in a week.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's really good. Right?
Oh, you know something else I did? I used to put hot chocolate in my coffee. Now I went and got some organic cane sugar.
Yeah.
And it's a lot sweeter than the regular granulated. So I put just 2 very small teaspoons in my coffee.
So you're using less sugar.
Yes. No chocolate in my coffee anymore.
That's probably much healthier for you.
Yeah.
Everything I've seen on sugars, it's not good.
Yeah.
Especially the processed stuff.
Cane sugar, I think, is better for you, isn't it? Isn't it?
I have no idea
how they make the Mexican Coke? Y'all comment, because that's one of my favorite drinks.
If you know,
I don't get to drink it very often.
If you know the difference between cane sugar and regular sugar, let us know. We're going to obviously going to look it up between now and when this goes up.
Yep.
But if you know, comment below, so if somebody else is looking to know, then you can inform them that way. We do a lot of stuff in the comments. I love the comments of this vlog. Too. Because look, like I mentioned somebody earlier today, but I wanted to mention a couple other people like Camden Mueller 5386. It's Rick under his wife's account, right? At first I thought it was some guy that looked like a woman, like that guy from Canada, because I was like looking at the thing and I'm like, it sounds like a guy that's common. But he said, oh, by the way, this is Rick, and I was just joking. I didn't think that at all. But his name is Rick, and he's down from 312 to 228. 84 pounds.
Dang.
Right? I'm not sure how long that took. He probably told me, but I forgot.
Yeah.
But either way, that's amazing.
Wonderful.
He's 62 years old. I think he says, I'm 62 years young. But he's got like this like rigorous exercise routine, right? Way more than mine. I'm still doing my 3 days a week, but I'm working my time up, you guys. I need to tell you that too. Worked it up from 5 to 10, 15 minutes.
To about 40.
To about 40, 45. Chuck and I have been going.
He was so disappointed this morning. You might want to take him just for a short walk.
We're going to tomorrow morning before we leave for our... So Chuck
I'll go with you tomorrow.
If you're awake when we're awake. You never are, though.
No. You should wake me up. Maybe I'll join you. Oh, and Ben mentioned something about women... or men looking like women. There was only one time I did that. I dressed as a flasher, and the guy I was sitting at the bar, and a friend of ours came in, and he was like, who's that guy at the bar?
Yeah.
I look like a guy, yo.
The makeup job was really good, whoever did it.
I did it.
Anyway, Dolores Christensen, J262 Charlie, is down 100 pounds. Her A1C's at 4.3 now. She's been on it for a year on the 7.5 dose, and it's still working great for her. So that's awesome. Keep us updated on how your progress goes. And one more on the weight loss thing that I wanted to mention is comment from Mama Slew and her husband are going on a huge trip here. And she said, I had mentioned one time, it's like, what are you looking forward to? Or what have you noticed, or what's going on now that you couldn't do before you lost the weight? She said that they're looking to be in on those airline seats now that they've both lost a lot of weight.
That's amazing.
And finding out how much more room that they have on those things.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than being overweight at all.
Yeah.
And being on an airline seat, right? They just don't make them for normal sized people in the beginning anyway.
Yeah.
And then, even me at this weight would be uncomfortable on an airline seat. But I was super uncomfortable on them at 240.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Good for you.
Yay! And good for you traveling. That's something that we all need to do. We all need to be able to travel and see things in this wonderful country of ours that we've not seen yet.
A lot of people talk about saving their money and going to Europe and all that stuff. I've been to Europe. And I'm going to tell you that there's no beauty like the beauty in the United States of America. I have no desire to go over to Europe anymore because we've got just about all those landscapes here in our own country.
We do. Yeah.
And on the subject also of what you can do now that you couldn't do before, and these are a couple that I forgot. At Valley Gal says she can now bend over to tie her shoes, and she can also now cross her legs. Which she couldn't do before.
Yeah.
Something that some people take for granted, right?
I had that. When I was 180 pounds, I could not cross my legs. I couldn't sit with my legs crossed. They just wouldn't do it.
Because your thighs were this big, right?
Yeah.
Right?
You know what else I can do now?
What can you
Look.
Okay. It's bending over.
I can almost touch my knees to my nose. When I bend over. Ben likes it when I do it this way, though.
We're getting ready to sign off, but I wanted to mention a couple more comments on the dogs because we're showing the dogs more and more. And in the last video, me walking Chuck, I showed Chuck, introduced you to Chuck again, but they met Maggie
Yeah.
Right? And Gidget was out there playing when me and Chuck came home. They haven't met the Doodles yet, I don't think. But maybe that'll be when we get back from our trip to Utah here. But a couple comments that were made. One at Will, KW9, Yankee Victor. He had a 14-year-old lab named Maggie, May, who has passed away.
Aww.
And we know what that's like.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry about your loss. But he commented on our dogs, and I wanted to tell him that our oldest American Labrador, her name is Maggie as well.
Yeah.
And I often call her Sweet Maggie McGillicuddy and other kinds
Maggie Magoo.
Sweet Maggie Magoo and all kinds of words. But she is our sweet Max.
Yeah. She'll be, 13? She'll be 11 this year in November.
Sorry for your loss, Will.
Yes, sorry for your loss. We know their family, and when that happens, it's terrible.
Yep. And the last one for Steve Stewart, 2864. He was telling me about this leash, right? That's kind of like a bungee type leash that when you're walking your dog and then your dog starts pulling, all of a sudden it'll stretch a little bit. And when you get to be my age, which is, right, 59, right? It can catch you off guard, and it did the other day. I had him on a nylon rope that has no give whatsoever.
Yeah.
And there was dogs barking on this side, dogs barking on this side, and they started at the exact same time, and it caught him like off guard. I started him, and he like took off, and about took me off my feet. About yanked my arm out of my arm socket. Right.
He looks small, but he is very muscular.
Super strong.
Yeah.
So, but Steve Stewart was telling me about this leash that's kind of a bungee leash. I'm looking into it.
Okay.
So I'm probably going to get it, but I wanted to say, hey man, thanks for the comment on that. Very good tip.
Yeah.
And I was kind of wondering, maybe I should get one of those ones that kind of like have the auto retraction thing, but I've heard all kinds of horror stories about dogs getting hurt with those.
Yeah.
So maybe I will try the bungee leash.
Okay.
So. Well, unless you have anything else, I guess that's about it. Got anything else?
No.
Oh, by the way, if you saw a puff of smoke come over, we're not smoking left-handed cigarettes. Not in here. We're smoking we got the patchouli. How do you say it? Patchouli.
Patchouli.
Patchouli?
Patchouli, yeah.
Patchouli. Incense sticks burning. That's what's burning. See you next week from Utah.
Bye, y'all.